when it comes to the world of wellness, it's easy to get quick answers from health coaches and influencers, but that makes it harder to determine what advice to take and what advice you should toss aside.
So Dr. Natalie Gentile is here to set the record straight when it comes to myths and false fads that you may see online. This is so timely and so important because I think there was something that just recently came out that showed how many influencers are putting something out, maybe pushing a product that may not have 100% backing or actually be FDA approved. So we're seeing all of this content coming our way that may not actually be good for us or do what it says it's going to do.
Think about the barriers.
Yes.
There really aren't any to posting this kind of stuff, right? So anybody can be an expert and call themselves that.
So let's talk first about supplements that can protect you from COVID-19 and other airborne diseases. Is this true or is this a myth? Is there anything that we could take like that?
Sure, there's vitamin C, zinc, that might help a little bit with immune response, but there have been so many other supplements that have been deemed as, protective against getting sick, and really there's no backing for it. The other thing that we've discussed before, supplements are unregulated. Right. So there's so much you can do to help boost your immune system in a way that is known, like exercise, proper sleep, proper diet, hydration. Supplements are kind of a black box if we don't know what we're getting.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about detoxes and cleanses? I mean, because there's juice cleanses, but there are also detox kits that you can buy in the supplement store. And I've tried them before, and let me tell you, they get things moving, but they can be really strong.
Yeah, certainly. And what a catchy word. Calling anything a detox, of course people are going to go there. Yeah. But the kidneys and the liver detox your body normally every single day, as long as you've got normally functioning organs, right? That's what they're there for. You don't need to be on a detox protocol, and I always say follow the money. These are catchy terms that a lot of people are going to want to jump on, but are not necessarily healthful or safe.
It's so interesting because I feel like we are of that era where we grew up with the water and lemon detox for 3 days. I mean, these things that weren't nutritious, weren't healthy. There was nothing about them that was actually going to help you except starve yourself basically for 3 days. Essentially is what they were. So I'm having PTSD from even hearing detox and cleanses. Everyone should take a multivitamin every day. Is this true or is this a myth?
No, and there's actually some evidence out there that that is not a great idea. There are some people who need multivitamin support maybe because of issues with their diet. They're not getting all the nutrients they need. People with certain chronic illnesses, sure, there are some instances, but most people can get what they need from their diet.
And what about vitamin D? I hear a lot about that, especially because here in Pittsburgh, I do too, because we don't get that much sun. Do you recommend that?
I always recommend testing a vitamin D. It's a really easy blood test that you can get and you can determine it. And frankly, I've seen some people with very high vitamin D levels because they're taking way too much. So it's important to know that if you have a deficiency, you certainly can supplement, especially in a place like Pittsburgh, but just get it checked first.
And talk to your doctor too. They might be able to help you and guide you in what vitamins, minerals, whatever you might need.
Absolutely.
We're celebrating our 2-year anniversary today, and I have to say, you have been with us from the beginning, and one of the things that we adore about you is how much you care about women's health, because speaking of barriers, we know how hard that can be to just feel heard and seen, and it's something that you care so passionately about.
Yeah, thank you for having me for 2 years, and to be able to talk about these topics is so important and in an understandable, approachable manner. Women's health, especially those of us in the women's health world, we fall prey to these myths all the time. We feel underdiagnosed, not heard in a healthcare setting. And so it's important to understand that we deserve to be heard, and there is help for us out there. There are healthcare practitioners who really care and want to be there for us.
Yeah, and you have a special event coming up that addresses just that.
Yeah, we have Women's Health Week at Rebel Wellness starting this Sunday. We have a PCOS workshop in the Teaching Kitchen, a bone health talk, holistic ways to manage anxiety, plus our group fitness. So we are really excited to highlight women that entire week with education and support.
Isn't it so wonderful that we're talking more about PCOS, something that until recently we heard very little about, and people suffered in silence for so long. So, great stuff. Dr. Gentile, thank you, and happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
If you're interested in learning more about Direct Care Physicians of Pittsburgh or Rebel Wellness, we have that information on our website, kdka.com/talkpittsburgh.